Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Thoughts of a Rambling Mind. As you know, I only make videos when I find something intriguing, and of course, I'm intrigued. So this video is going to be about a weakness and a pattern that Errol Spence has that can be easily exploited by Terrence Crawford. So go ahead and put a like, subscribe, drop a comment down in the comment section. I always read and reply to every single comment. It helps me out a lot, guys. Anyway, so we're going to start this video out by talking about, we're going to play a little clip with Lennox Lewis speaking in the beginning of the fight, letting you know that Errol Spence had originally planned on fighting Shawn Porter face-to-face, toe-to-toe, no boxing, right in the phone booth.
Errol Spence said he's not going to be running around.
Right.
He's not going to be backing up. He's going to fight him at his own fight. So I got to see this myself.
So he chose to fight Shawn Porter in a certain style. Very exciting style, very exciting fight. And it allowed Shawn Porter to put damage and be very effective against Errol Spence. A reason why I'm pointing this out is because we don't know if Errol Spence would take that same stance against Terrence Crawford, and so maybe these weaknesses will not be available to Terrence Crawford if he doesn't take the same approach. But I'm of the belief that Errol Spence saying that he was going to stay in there with Shawn Porter is really Errol Spence just saying that he's going to do what he normally does and he won't be trying to do what he did with Mikey Garcia, which is the rare thing for Errol Spence to step back and box. I believe Terrence Crawford needs to get Kenny Porter into his camp ASAP. I think he needs to work on whatever cheat code it is that Kenny Porter has figured out with Errol Spence. You see, Kenny Porter used to train Errol Spence for some time. They have a long history together. They're friends, family almost. And so Kenny Porter seems to have learned some things about fighting Errol Spence. And in the preparation for the fight with his son, Shawn Porter, he gave Shawn Porter some really good keys in order to compete with Spence. Issue that I'm noticing is that Errol Spence seems to have an issue fighting on the back foot. Not that he can't fight on the back foot, not that he can't fight going backwards. It's just that we're talking about elite level boxing here. And when we're talking about elite level boxing, any flaw or any weakness or any discomfort is an advantage, an extreme advantage. So Errol Spence is an elite boxer, Shawn Porter is an elite boxer, and on that elite level, Errol Spence fighting on his back foot and moving backwards just doesn't match up. He's a great fighter on the back foot, he's great fighting backwards, but not quite elite. And I believe Kenny Porter was aware of that, and he trained Shawn how to put Errol Spence on his back foot. Now, some of you might say, "What's the big deal?" You know, some of you might not believe me, but you know, I got the receipts.
Errol Spence has got a little redness over his left eye right now. He's never been cut, Joe, his entire career. Now Porter the aggression. Good action right there. Shawn Porter landing that little left hook coming in, right hand. He's feeling those punches, but he just...
I mean, if a fighter has a problem fighting on his back foot, you just put him on his back foot, right? Well, the issue with that, with Errol Spence in particular, is that he's a forward fighting force, right? He's constantly pushing forward and constantly engaging on the front foot. He's very active, and so it makes it, and he's very strong, so it makes it very difficult to push him back. again, this is why I call it the cheat code of Kenny Porter, because Kenny Porter's figured out a way in order to put Errol Spence on his back foot. As you can see, Shawn Porter is engaging in Errol Spence, and it almost looks as if Errol Spence is pushing Shawn Porter back. But if you look really closely, Shawn Porter is backing up into the corner and allowing Errol Spence to pursue him. At the point where Errol Spence is invested in his attack is when Shawn Porter does his move. He loops around to the left side or the right side. In this picture, in this video, it's the left side. He loops around and he spins Errol Spence around and begins his attack. Now, as you see in this first video, he tries it and it works. Clearly, he's a little bit surprised that it worked, but it won't be that way for long. Here you see it again. Shawn Porter backs into this corner, right? Ducks around, spins Errol Spence around, and now he commences to attack. This is a cheat code. Here it is again. Now Shawn Porter is doing this all through the fight. Okay, this is a cheat code. I mean, you can see Shawn Porter is forcing Errol Spence to fight for his forward position. Errol Spence is habitually unable to stop this. Remember, boxers are habitual in their fighting skills, right? They're very talented, but very rarely do they freestyle. They freestyle sets, not individual punches or individual moves. What does that mean? That means that they practice routine combinations, they practice punches, and certain situations trigger muscle memory and they go through the routine. The other boxer tries to figure out what that set or what that routine is, and if he counters it correctly, it'll be successful for him. So Errol Spence has some routines that clearly have been traveling with him for his entire career, so much so that Kenny Porter is able to demonstrate them with his son against Errol Spence. Here's another video clip of Shawn Porter doing the same thing. Now here in this one, you see Shawn Porter spin Errol, but Errol now is trying to prevent it from happening. He's trying to stop it. We have Shawn Porter again, backing up, catching him and engaging, right? Errol Spence is invested, the spin, and here Errol Spence successfully is able to prevent the spin. The fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford is going to be about positioning. And when I say positioning, I mean positioning in the clinch, wrestling, power. Okay? And these engagements that you see here will play a large role in a fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Who is physically stronger to make this turn? And I think we all know that Terrence Crawford, he shines in this area of physical strength and moving bodies around. So we'll see. As you can see again, no matter what Errol Spence tries to do, he just habitually keeps falling for the same trap. Now here, Errol Spence has already prevented the trap. So now Sean Porter tricks him into falling for it again because Sean Porter feels like he's hip to it. So what does he do? He throws a couple punches. He engages with Errol Spence, forces Errol Spence to get flipped into the... It's really a cheat code. It's amazing almost to watch this happen. And I think that Terrence Bud Crawford needs to get Kenny Porter in his camp immediately and learn whatever the hell Kenny sees that allows Sean Porter to keep performing this maneuver over and over and over again. Like, it's unstoppable. Anyway, those are my thoughts of a rambling mind. Like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment down in the comment section. I always read and reply. And I'm out.
He's fighting. So a guy like Errol Spence, who's used to coming forward, fighting on a straight line, you're going to have to get out of that comfort zone to get to Sean. And then he'll change directions on you. So we're going to do a lot of different things that he don't expect, and we're going to show that he doesn't have the ability to adjust to those things.